Whenever you're ready.
Well, obviously, it goes without saying, and we're extremely disappointed. Um, I felt like in a lot of ways we outplayed Georgetown tonight. Uh, then in the last 3 minutes, they made some plays, and we didn't. But for us, the way we're built, to have 4 more field goals and out-rebound them by 3, that's a recipe for success for us. And for most of the game, it was. Smith Rivera obviously made some big plays right before halftime, and then made some big plays late in the game. And then we had some costly turnovers that you can't have against a team that's the quality of Georgetown. And give them a lot of credit. They went to the free throw line. They made their free throws. Obviously, they shot a bunch of them. They're a good basketball team, and Smith Rivera played like the all-league player that he is.
Questions, please. Steve in front.
Both players, you talked a little bit about Georgetown's zone late in the game and how much problems that caused you guys.
What we were trying to do is really exploit how open that zone can be there at the free throw line. And I think to a point we did a pretty good job getting it there. We had some good looks at 3 there at kind of from those kickouts there in the zone or getting the ball moved quick that we just didn't knock down. Some there in the last few minutes that would have definitely helped. But, it's something they're a big team. They've got a lot of length. So when they're moving well in that zone, there's really not a lot of gaps to penetrate, and it gave us a few problems.
Yeah, I feel like just like Ricky said, just trying to get the ball in the middle and break down the zone. I felt like we did a pretty good job of getting it there. I felt like we just didn't make the plays at the end of the day.
Right here in front.
James, you talked about the play toward the end, and you were looking to drive and make the pass and threw it away at the end.
Yeah, well, Coach had told me to attack, and they opened the gap for me, and I attacked it, and I saw Austin at the last minute. I thought he was going to flare out to the corner, so I misled him.
James, what did they start doing after, obviously you had a lot of your points in the first half and in the second half. What did they start doing to try to neutralize what you did?
They did a pretty good job of just denying me, making me, as far as like our plays were mostly me coming off of ball screens and down screens. They did a pretty good job of just denying that and making me change up my change of pace and stuff. So I felt like they just adjusted pretty good in the second half, late in the second half.
Over here on the left.
It's for both players. Do you feel that the game slipped away from you? You had a 6-point lead with a little over 5 minutes to go.
There were a few plays there at the end that we weren't able to convert, and as Coach said, we had a few turnovers there in the last few minutes that doesn't help. But Georgetown hit some good shots there at the end. They put themselves in position there with a few minutes left to win the game. And we had our chances and they had theirs. And unfortunately tonight we just weren't able to either hit the shots that we had or just let a pass or 2 get away from us.
Any other questions? Right here in front.
Coach, as tough as this loss is, you still see it as a successful stand for me. You won last night. You give Georgetown a good run tonight.
Yeah, as I told the team in the locker room, we've gone, since the 0-8 start, we've gone 5-7 in league play, including the tournament, and probably are about 8 possessions from being 10-2 or 9-3 in that stretch because of the close games we lost. We through the first 15 minutes of the second half, we held Georgetown to 14 points. So defensively, we were doing the things we had to do. So. There's teams across the country where when you get off to a start like we got off to, that they just crumble from within their locker room. And the 7 seniors I have on my team did not allow that to happen. And I think every coach aspires to have his team playing their best basketball in March. And I'm not sure that happens very often, but with our program it happened. Even through the adverse start that we had, our guys continue to practice with a great attitude, with great energy. and they committed themselves to getting better individually and collectively. And as a result, we were a tough out down the stretch. So I'm disappointed that we're not playing tomorrow because, you know, we split with Xavier. We lost 2 last-second games to Butler, and, you know, we just lost to Villanova by 4 the other night. So I was confident anything could happen. But you know, Georgetown was good, but I couldn't be prouder of my team. These seniors have been a pleasure to coach. They protected the culture of our program at a time where it was very, very difficult to protect the culture, because oftentimes when adversity hits like that and you start as poorly as we started, guys just start thinking about themselves. The season isn't going to be what we thought, so we're just going to worry about me. And to our guys' credit, they understood that they were part of something bigger than that. And they moved this program forward, and I think their legacy is they got better, they continue to work, and they protected the culture of our program. That's really important.
Over here on the left, Clayton.
What kind of effect does Josh Smith have on your offense?
Yeah, you know, he's so big and so strong. You know, his impact is, when you're trying to defend him, I think is where the problem lies, because he takes up so much space, and he's got, you know, he's big and strong, and he's got a soft touch, but he's got unbelievable hands. You know, anything that's close, Josh corrals, and everything he throws up in the rim was soft. And, you know, we tried coming at him with some double teams at different points in the game. We forced a turnover one time, but, you know, he usually makes you pay for that. But we just didn't feel we could keep him off balance, and obviously we had one big guy foul out, another one with 4 fouls. So, you know, try to guard him makes it tough.
Right here. In the middle.
More for the players. Coach just talked about it in the previous answer, but he talked about the culture and how tough is it to maintain that culture of the program through some of the tougher losses that you guys have had?
I mean, to lose kind of 8 games in a row like we did at the beginning of the season, at the beginning of the Big East, after we had a pretty successful run up until the Big East started, it's tough. I mean, you got a lot of guys who had been on this team the past 3 or 4 years that have been incredibly successful. And it's a pretty big adjustment to make when you have to deal with having a few losses there on last-second threes, or a missed box out, or free throws, or a drive at the I mean, to kind of have the lead there going into the last possession, and to have teams make good plays, I mean, to beat you, it's tough. But I'm really proud of the guys on this team and the coaching staff who show up every day. I mean, despite those kind of losses, which can really just be demoralizing. To be able to have the short-term memory to kind of put that behind you and focus on the task at hand for the next game. I mean, it's really tough to do, and this team was able to do that. So, I mean, it's definitely been something with the help of the seniors and a lot of the upperclassmen here to kind of protect the team-first mentality and to not let guys kind of give up or give in, which would have been really easy to do. And the season would have ended in a much different way. So, I mean, I'm really proud of the team for being able to do that.
Last question, Steve.
Ricky, as a guy who's not going to be back next year, what have you seen out of the younger guys that will give you hope that better days are ahead for next year?
I mean, we got a lot of young guys that are very talented, a lot of potential. Some guys that need to work in the off season to putting some weight on, but that's something that they work at, they can do. You got a few transfers that we had sitting out this year that are going to be great basketball players. I mean, they already are. I mean, it would have really been beneficial for us to have them this year as well. But you got a lot of talent coming up, and the more important thing is you got a lot of the right guys in the program coming up. It's not this program is all about protecting the culture, and the coach has said that. And you got a lot of the talented guys that have that team-first mentality that are going to be playing next year, and it's going to be really exciting to follow that team, and hopefully they can learn from a lot of the shortcomings that we've had this year in terms of being able to close those games out and protecting leads there in the last possession, last few minutes. And I really feel like that's a team that can really put a special season together.
Creighton, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.